When I first got diagnosed with ADHD, I was surprised to discover that there were some elements of this disorder that were considered to be beneficial. I'm a firm believer in positive thinking and, to quote Monty Python, always looking on the bright side of life. But let's be honest, most of the positive claims about ADHD are Disneyfied bollocks. There is, however, one benefit that I have identified after vigorous research and analysis of academic papers and, who am I kidding, it was a shower thought, alright? But it's a good one. Before I get into this, I would genuinely like to know what you guys think about this theory. It'd be awesome if you nice folks could confirm if this is just something I do or if it really is an actual bona fide ADHD superpower. So here's the deal. Those of us who get diagnosed later in life, sometimes much later in life, have spent a lot of time building up an elaborate range of coping mechanisms on top of our ADHD shitheadery. And it was while I was contemplating all of this, I suddenly realised that I am a certified genius at identifying workarounds and loopholes in literally everything I do. No matter what the task is, literally the first thought that enters my head on every single occasion is, how can I do this job faster and be done with the wretched fucking thing? You see, over the years, I've come to understand my own weaknesses, and before I discovered I had ADHD and couldn't put a name to my behaviours, I was dealing with it in my own little way. Over the decades, I came to understand my flaws and tried my best to mitigate their effects. And I've discovered that I have an Olympic grade ability to find out how to speed up literally any task that I am set. My wife and I have our own web design business, and when I say we, I mean she's the boss and the backbone of the operation, and I do what I'm told sometimes. This being paid work for money, it's often boring as fuck and precisely the kind of thing that someone with ADHD struggles with, even after knocking back 30 milligrams of Ritalin with a Red Bull chaser. So by necessity, the first thing I always do is break down the process and find out how to speed it up. I'll use macro software, special scripts, elaborate keyboard shortcuts, batch processing, you name it. There's an area of research called time and motion studies, which is the scientific study of the conservation of human resources in the search for the most efficient method of doing a task. And if the time and motion scientists ever knocked on my door, they'd quickly discover that I'm the Magnus Carlsen of cheat sheets. I'm the Dalai Lama of workarounds. I'm the Nicolas fucking Cage of ninja evasions. My desire not to do these kinds of boring tasks is so immense that I apply a laser-like concentrated effort on getting it over with as quickly as humanly possible. This burning desire to save time and to find loopholes in everything extends to every portion of my life. I'm a serious hobbyist landscape photographer, and I like nothing more than going out and taking photographs, but you know what I do hate? Getting everything off my camera and onto the computer. So I bought a little app by the name of Hazel, which automates my photo import process. The app will notice it's there, create a date stamp folder on my photo drive, import all the photos, and then eject the drive. I don't have to do anything at all. And when I say every area of my life, I mean it. Before I had a nervous breakdown and left my full-time employment as an IT guy with the biggest non-profit organisation in Australia, I had to commute to the city 3 times a week. It was a 2-hour drive each way. Over the first few months of that job, I tested literally every single route possible between my house and the office in order to find the most time-efficient route. I worked out which roads were best, what time of day was best, and precisely which lane to be in at each stage of that commute to minimise friction. I was the king of the rat run. I did so not because I had some desperate need to be at my desk early, but because I wanted to cut down the amount of driving time to the absolute minimum in order to spend 5 more minutes at home instead of work. Come on, you've got to admire the commitment. Over the years, my eating has devolved into a path of least resistance. Oven chips and chicken nuggies in the air fryer, microwave everything, ready meals as far as the eye can see. When I decided I wanted to get a bit fitter again and shed a few of the pounds caused by a diet of oven chips, chicken nuggies and ready meals, I applied the same time-saving processes. I realised pretty quickly that I didn't want to be one of those gym bros who dick around for hours on end, 2-gallon water bottle in hand, pausing between sets only to skip Nickelback tracks on the smartphone. And you know what I ended up doing? That's right, HIIT, high-intensity workouts. Why? Because to quote Wikipedia, HIIT is a training protocol alternating short periods of intense or explosive anaerobic exercise with brief recovery. Wham bam, thank you ma'am, go hard, hit the showers and piss off home. I will take the quick and hassle-free route over the slow and difficult one every single time. I used to sell prints of my photographs online, but I hated the process. Getting those prints made, the negotiations with the punter, getting the photo to the printers, arranging for delivery, taking payment, the whole fucking thing. So instead I signed up with one of those full self-service print fulfillment companies, even though it meant I ended up earning half what I used to. Truth is, I wouldn't have carried on selling prints at all were it not for the full-service print fulfillment company. The pathological need to cut corners manifests itself in so many little ways in my life. I've always brushed my teeth in the shower because I hate that extra step of getting out of the shower and standing over the sink and brushing. My wife took the piss out of me for doing this when we first met, but guess what? Now her toothbrush is in the shower too, and my son's for that matter. Before I moved in with my then girlfriend, now wife, I had a interesting approach to one of the most hated household tasks. Basically, I hated doing laundry so much that I just used to buy new clothes and particularly new underwear. And I would wear that underwear sometimes twice, one regular and once inside out. Don't judge me, I was young. And then put it in a large laundry bag under my bed. And only when that bag reached critical mass, like literally hundreds of pairs of underpants, would I go to the laundrette and wash the whole fucking thing in one go. The fact that my wife discovered that bag not long after we became an item and didn't ditch me immediately is, now I think about it, one of the many miracles of my life. Through my childhood, my teenage years, my young adult years and my adult life, all the way through to my middle-aged years, I've looked for the loophole, that Mario Kart speed boost. On one occasion, my time-saving obsession may actually have saved my life. I got a job with a temping agency in the city of London, and I used to commute from my hometown of Letchworth by train to Old Holborn in London via King's Cross. Before long, I'd worked out precisely which carriage to sit in, which door to exit by to be right next to the exit for the train and tube platforms. It was like some real-life video game speedrun. One day I completed a particularly dazzling segue through London's public transportation system and got on a train a full hour before my usual one. And in so doing, I managed to not be in King's Cross when a catastrophic fire swept through the station, killing 31 people and injuring another 100. My obsession with loopholes was born of necessity. It wasn't something I'd ever even thought about until quite recently. Once I started thinking about it, I realised it's something I've done all of my life. Now, I should add that there is one obvious flaw in the practice of loophole hunting. I expect you've probably already thought of it yourself. Sometimes it takes so long to come up with a workaround that you could have done the original task 3 times over. The hunt for that loophole is, of course, far more interesting than the task itself, and so it's often simply another form of procrastination that pretty much every ADHDer is afflicted with. This is true, but you could equally argue that once you've found the loophole for a specific task, you can recall it from the playbook and put it straight into practice next time. Alright guys, that'll do us for this video. Does my theory hold water, or am I simply talking bollocks and just rebranding procrastination? Let me know in the comments section down below. If you like the vid, please flick it a like and subscribe if you'd like to see more of my half-assed unscientific theories in your YouTube feed. Till the next time guys, ta-ta.